Alright, so the stream looks like it's going. So this is one mission to do two different things. Up to the north here, this is what I've been doing for part of the evening is I've set up a target here to the hangar, tents and trucks all around it with a little bit of a smoke so that I can see on the ground where it's located. And I fly like towards the coast like this, and then I turn towards the target from 10,000 feet. Try to head down at minus 25 degrees and hit the target, dropping my bombs at about 3,500 with a depression on the site of 120. So that's what I've been practicing, been semi-successful doing it. But then I thought, hey, this is all nice and good, but these are like controlled conditions where you do it and it's ideal. What about like in a combat situation? So here what I did is I put like my airfield really close to the enemy side, but it's mainly because I only have like one set of bombs. I can try my bomb attack, and then if I miss I can come back, reload, go back. But I've set up like a bunch of hangars here, so I don't have to be super precise to hit hopefully some of those hangars. But I've put a lot of AAA. There's a ZSU here, which is radar guided. It's pretty like real threat. I've got a few S60s, which are 57 millimeter. They're not always super precise, but they do like the poof poof around you, and it gets a bit scary. I've got a few other ZU-23s. I put some, so if I do an approach like this, I'll maybe try not to go through those too much and maybe get out of the area like that. So you've got all kinds of AAA threats. Figured it'd be interesting to see if the dive that I use for my bomb, is it enough that I can stay out of trouble and then try to get out dropping chaff and flares and then fly back to the base. So those are the things. So probably what I think we could do is first show the practice that I did and see if I can do okay with that or not, and then I'll try it in like this part of the mission. Alright, so this one was the one that I had used for practice. This one I just created, so it's got like a Aerial 1 as a name. I didn't really change anything. I wanted to keep the surprise when I go fly it, so it's untested. This part has been tested thoroughly, so hopefully I'll do well on this target here. I'll just do maybe an active pause there once I get in cockpit. There we go. So here it says set side depression to minus 120, dive at a minus 25 degree angle, aim just past the target with flight path indicator, and drop bombs once Pipper is on target at about 3,500. So that's like more or less the practice run I did. And then as an extra task, practice from Ramat David with AAA at Haifa. So that's the second part we'll try. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll do active pause, just so that we can maybe check this target here. So as you can see, there's like a little smoke marker there, so I'll know where it is. I'm somewhere over the ocean there. And I'll try to drop my bombs on this target here. So see how that goes. So since we're in active pause, I guess I can set up a few things. That there, need to have that there. If you're curious to know what my plane looks like, I took this livery, which is kind of nice, from Spuds Buds. Pretty cool looking plane. So it's got 6 of the Mark 82s, some sidewinders for decoration. So we'll pretend that we're one of those pilots from the Royal DMAR Air Force doing a training mission right now. And so let's try this. sure everything's set up properly. Then I want to spot that smoke on the ground. There it is. Can spot the smoke, and then these are the targets I want to hit. So when I was training earlier, I was doing it with unlimited ammunition so that you can do multiple passes, and if you miss the first time, you can get it second, third, or fourth time. So here we'll try to get it right the first time. It's much harder than it looks to get all the parameters correctly. See, right now we're at -25, and you know what I forgot? I forgot to set my depression on my sights, so without sights this is not gonna happen. So let's do that while we do another pass. At least I gotta practice running. And so yes. There. So again, we have our target there. I'm gonna climb. Get back to about 10,000 feet. Here we are. There's smoke there. Let's try rolling in. Go long a bit. Yeah, I went long. So as you can see, it's pretty tough to do these things. Got a lot of things to think about, but it's sort of a training situation in this case. So I figured it might be fun to try what it looks like in a combat situation where you're actually getting shot at. So let's try that. So we're gonna go choose slot and pick that other plane, the aerial plane there. So what's nice when you start on the ground is you can actually set up your things before you go fly. And you can see I have trucks here waiting for me if I need to refuel and reload bombs, so that's going to be available. But first let's start with what I forgot earlier. This threw off my concentration a little bit during the flight. There we go. And then sacrilege, I'm going to do master arm on from the ground, which I should never do, but I always do because otherwise I forget. So this looks like it's good. Yep. Alright, so must not hit bomb button because then I could blow up on the ground. But yes, this is the plane we have, and we're going to try to navigate to the target. Kind of like to remove this so I can see my fuel state a bit better. Speaking of navigation, we're going to set this thing here to the nav, and then if I do this like that, that makes sense. Okay. So let's taxi. So for takeoff, we'll set the flaps to the first level. There we go. And so let's get this thing rolling. Gear up. Get our flaps up. And now we can start heading for our waypoint and climb to about 10,000 feet. As you can see, we're not that far from the coast, so that's where we're headed. So that's the airfield right there that we're gonna go hit. I can see my hangars. Okay. Let's try not to burn all our fuel in the first minute of flight. And now we're at about 10,000. And so I guess I could, at this point, cycle to the next waypoint. One of the things I wasn't necessarily expecting were those clouds, so I guess we'll have to make do with that, but that could help us to hide from the AAA. So just for fun, I'm going to go outside and test my countermeasures. There we go, we know they're working. So we're going to start our dive. I've climbed much higher than I thought I would, but let's see here. The runway there. Let's go see what it looks like if we try to line up with it. Got our hangars there. And fast. So here we go. So I hit some of the hangars. Now let's get back up, because we know there's AAA shooting at us. that seems like we were able to do something out of this. So what I'm thinking is fly back to base, see if I can get another load of bombs, and come back, because this was fun. I don't think I put any enemy vehicles on the ground. I could have probably do a better bomb damage assessment. One of the things I just realized here is that I did this whole bombing run with my lights on. So now I can turn them off, I guess. Yes. Alright, so let's get rid of the afterburners and head for our final, and then we'll land and reload. So this is Ramat David, where we're going to land. We can see that green roof of the building where we started from. Over there. Alright, so let's slow down. Switch soon for our waypoint. There we go. About 8 miles out from the runway. Yeah, I can see it there. All right. Let's get this thing slowed down even more. Let's give this plane some flaps. Approaching 250, we'll get the gear down. There we go. Give it gas. Use our landing tool there. Gives us a sort of a flight path marker. There we go. Gonna go full flaps. Feet on the pedals. Bit rough. the parachute, get the flaps back up. Actually, maybe just put them back ready for takeoff position. We can turn that off. And now it's just a question to taxi back to the ammo trucks, get another bomb load. Probably like a lot of people, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the F4E Phantom. But the thing is, it'll have like a pretty basic bomb dropping mechanisms just like this plane does. So I figured it would be good this week to practice some of that. And so I practiced a little bit in the F5. I did some of my bomb runs in the F5 that are kind of useful, I guess. And tonight I decided to go with the F1. And I have to admit I hadn't done like bomb runs with unguided slick munitions in quite a while. I had done recently some low-level drops with the parachute retarded versions of bombs, which I find a little bit easier to drop. When you drop a few of them at low level, you're usually going to hit your target, but dropping bombs like that at medium altitude in a dive, where you have to follow a bunch of parameters so that you don't miss the target, it had been quite a while. What I wonder sometimes is if the instruments in the F4 for bombing, if they'll be more like the F5, which would make sense since the F5 is an American plane. Because I find the F5 makes it a bit easier to drop bombs. So here I'm just using the outside view to confirm that it's not this taxiway but the other one I need to take. Tonight I didn't have like much time for editing complicated stuff, but one of the things I'm thinking for this part of the mission where I'm at David attacking Haifa, I was thinking of putting friendly planes attacking enemy fighters and putting a lot of things going on in the sky, where I might even have to defend myself against MiGs so that I would get to practice air-to-air. But tonight I felt like I would focus on bomb dropping and then maybe we'll do like an air-to-air practice and combine everything together. That's what I like about these little training missions I create. I sometimes start very easy and then I make it more complicated for myself. It's something I would encourage most virtual pilots to do. You start with something easy that you know you're probably going to be able to do. Once you get good at it, you add a little difficulty, a different approach, different altitudes. Like in the Mirage, you often have to set the altitude for where you're going to bomb. And the two targets I chose here, they're very close to the coast, so you don't have to really adjust much. But in the Syria map, there are places where it's like 3,000 feet higher, and so you have to adjust your millibars here for any bomb drop you're going to do. So let's talk to the ground crew and get some weapons on this plane. We'll get a little bit more fuel as well. Maybe 92 will be good enough. And for our chaff and flares, that's how it goes. And so that should be nice.
Request refueling.
Do that.
Request rearming.
There is a parking brake there. Yes, good. I don't have to hold down the brakes manually. So we can hear the fuel coming in. You can see the fuel gauge going up. Populated the area a little bit, make it look like there's people working here.
Refueling complete.
Fueling is done. Let's go see the armament. Yeah, the bombs are coming on the wings. Looks pretty good to me.
Rearming complete.
Alright. That means we're ready to go for another run. So we've got our depression set. Got this. Let's go. Let's do this again. Oh, I forgot my parking brake. There we go. Let's go. Flaps are up, gears are up. And so now I have to bring my waypoints to number 2. There we go. I'm almost surprised that I remember fairly well how to use the navigation system. So that's kind of good. There were at least 2 of those hangars that we hit earlier. See some AAA clouds. I'm trying to make our approach not too obvious because it's our second one. They know there could be planes coming. Alright, let's go try this.
10, 10,
Okay, we got some hits there too. Guess I was a bit late maybe dropping the bombs. Let's drop some countermeasures. Go hide in the clouds. We can see what we were able to do with 2 runs. We killed 3 hangars with 12 bombs. I think I could do better, so that means I'm going to have to train some more. But as you can see, these little scenarios that I create like that just helps you to become like a better pilot. So I hope you enjoyed watching this little demonstration. It's not demonstration of an ace doing super great things. It's just someone trying out a plane he hasn't tried in a while because I kind of like it. And hopefully this kind of thing will help me prepare for when we get the F4. We'll be able to drop bombs with that one as well. I'm sure tons of people are looking forward to taking the F4 to do some air-to-air with it. I'm a little bit crazy like that. Most of my planes I'll learn how to bomb before I learn how to do air-to-air. So I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed.